I mean, I've been getting a lot of comments like this, and I think there's some accuracy to it. But I think when you combine that with, I think it was J.D. Vance who said that, and this statement is so incredibly absurd that ICE is going to start going door to door and just knocking on people's doors. That's not the way it works. ICE has to have probable cause to stop someone. They have to have reasonable suspicion. Of course, now they're allowed to racially profile thanks to Brett Kavanaugh and their Kavanaugh stops. The Supreme Court carved out an exception to the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause for people who look Hispanic or Latino in the United States, of which there are 60 million. 50 million of them are citizens. They no longer enjoy equal rights protection under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. But, you know, I mean, let's play this out, okay? There are 330 million people in the United States. There are somewhere around 420 to 430 million guns in the United States. ICE agents walk around in full tactical gear with no insignia, no badges, no name tags, wearing masks, sunglasses, and hats. If four or five men dressed like that showed up on my front porch and started banging on my door, you're goddamn right I'd go get a firearm. I have several. Sorry, I had an incoming phone call. Even California has a castle doctrine law. And the United States Supreme Court, in the Heller decision, I think it was in like 2013 or something, said that Americans are allowed to own firearms for self-defense inside the home. That was extended a couple of years ago in the Bruen decision when this Supreme Court said, well, no, actually, Americans have a constitutional right to carry a firearm outside of their home for self-defense when they're not at home. And we are the most armed country on the planet that is not currently involved in a war or a civil war. And I mean, how excited would you be to be an ICE agent? Let's say you're in a blue city in a red state, like Nashville or Memphis or something, I don't know, Mobile, Atlanta. And your superiors are like, we're going to need you guys to go out with your masks and Oakleys and hats and your weapons visible and start knocking on people's doors in the most armed country in the United States. This plan is going to end up with a lot of shootouts. It's going to end up with a lot of ICE agents getting shot and killed or wounded. It's going to end up with a lot of civilians getting shot and killed or wounded. And it's an absolutely ridiculous plan. Law enforcement is not permitted to come to your house and just knock on the fucking door when they're out hunting for bad guys without any evidence, without probable cause, without some reasonable suspicion, without some justification that gives them a reason to knock on your door. Fuck you, come back with a warrant. And then what are they going to do? Are they just going to kick your door in? If they're just kicking in random doors, a lot of ICE agents are going to get fucking shot, man. But maybe that's what this administration wants. Who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe that is what this administration wants. because that would just further justify the things that they want to do to this country. So maybe they're fine with a few ICE agents getting taken out. I would humbly suggest maybe they, make the lead officer on those types of raids be Jonathan Ross, the shooter from Minneapolis, day before yesterday. Seems like a good assignment for him. But, I'm just spitballing here. Republicans always overreach, and Donald Trump always overreaches 1,000 times more than normal Republicans do. And they're doing that right now. They're doing that right now with this. I don't know what the total percentage of it is, maybe 15 or 20% of the number of adults in the United States that are actually MAGA. But the rest of us have eyes and ears. And none of those MAGA fucks are going to be sitting on the grand jury in Minneapolis, and none of those MAGA fucks are going to be sitting on the jury during the criminal trial for Jonathan Ross in Minneapolis when they're prosecuting him for murder. So these assholes over here can say whatever they want. They're still butthurt about Derek Chauvin. They're still saying that George Floyd died from a drug overdose. So who gives a shit what these uneducated, half-smart dipshits have to say? Who cares, man? Let them say whatever they want. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what the grand jury says and what the trial jury says at the end of Jonathan Ross's trial for the murder of Renee Good. Those are the only two things that matter. Everything else is gibberish. Everything else is gibberish. I don't give a shit what Fox News hosts have to say. I don't give a shit what Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or Pam Bondi or Kash Patel have to say. What they have to say is absolutely irrelevant in this case. It is literally irrelevant. It means absolutely nothing. And there's absolutely nothing that they can do to prevent this prosecution from taking place. Nothing. There's nothing they can do to stop it. There is absolutely nothing they can do to stop it. And so he's going to be indicted. He's going to be arrested. And he's going to be put on trial. And that is going to be a beautiful thing to see. It's a terrible thing in the meantime, the damage that he has done to his family and to Renee Good's family, to her wife and her children, and what he is now putting his wife through. I don't know if they have kids, but fuck, man. Yeah, Jonathan Ross's life is over, whether he goes to prison or not.